Imagine being told not to think of a pink elephant. The harder you try to resist, the clearer the image becomes. No matter how much effort you exert, the elephant stubbornly remains in your mind. This paradox isn't just about thoughts, it applies to life itself. The more we chase happiness, the more elusive it becomes. The more we strive for success, the more distant it feels. The harder we try to rid ourselves of dissatisfaction, the more entrenched it becomes. This is the foundation of what philosopher Alan Watts called the backwards law, the paradoxical truth that the more we struggle to obtain something, the more it slips from our grasp. But how does this work in practice? And more importantly, how can understanding this shift the way we live, bringing us peace, clarity, and fulfillment without the exhausting chase? Stay with me as we unravel this profound insight and uncover how letting go may be the key to finally having what we've been searching for all along. We live in a world that constantly encourages us to strive, to hustle, to chase after our dreams. Society tells us that if we just work hard enough, push long enough, and want something bad enough, we will eventually get it. But the backwards law argues the opposite. The harder we try to be happy, the more miserable we become. The more we pursue wealth, the more we feel poor. The more we chase love, the more lonely we feel. This paradox arises because our desire to escape our current state reinforces the belief that what we have is insufficient. The moment we say, "I must be happy," we confirm that we are not. The second we strive to be successful, we solidify the idea that we are lacking. Consider the experience of falling asleep. The more you actively try to sleep, forcing yourself to relax, focusing on your breath, adjusting your position, the more restless you become. Only when you let go, allowing sleep to come naturally, do you finally drift off. This principle applies to many aspects of life. The question is, how do we stop this endless cycle of striving and truly allow what we want to come to us effortlessly? Most of us believe we can control our emotions. When sadness, anger, or anxiety arise, we try to suppress them, push them away, or distract ourselves. But just like the pink elephant, the more we resist, the more these emotions persist. Psychologists call this the ironic process theory. When we try to suppress a thought or feeling, our brain monitors it even more closely, making it more dominant. That's why when we tell ourselves, "I won't be anxious," our anxiety worsens. The backwards law suggests a radical alternative. Instead of fighting discomfort, allow it. Instead of chasing happiness, let go of the need to be happy at all. Great spiritual traditions and philosophies echo this idea. The Stoics believed in amor fati, loving one's fate. Instead of resisting reality, they embraced it fully. Zen Buddhism teaches Wu Wei, the art of effortless action, allowing life to unfold without force. Both traditions suggest that the moment we stop resisting, peace naturally follows. In modern life, we are conditioned to believe that external achievements lead to happiness. If we get that job, that house, that relationship, then we will be content. But the backwards law shows us that the more we chase, the emptier we feel. Mark Manson puts it this way: pursuing something only reinforces the fact that you lack it in the first place. If you desperately want to be rich, you affirm that you are poor. If you obsess over finding love, you reinforce your loneliness. The irony is that those who truly feel abundant and worthy don't need to chase after money or relationships. They attract them effortlessly. This doesn't mean we should stop setting goals or having ambitions, but it does mean that we should detach from the outcome. The happiest people don't force happiness. The wealthiest people often don't obsess over money. The most confident people don't overanalyze their confidence. Instead, they focus on doing meaningful work, being present, and allowing life to unfold naturally. So, if trying too hard backfires, what's the alternative? The answer lies in non-striving. Think of a muddy pond. If you try to clear the water by stirring it, it only becomes murkier. But if you leave it alone, the dirt settles and the water becomes clear. Our minds work the same way. The more we try to fix ourselves, the more chaos we create. The moment we stop fighting, clarity emerges naturally. This doesn't mean we should never take action. It means we should take action without attachment. Instead of obsessing over happiness, we cultivate habits that lead to happiness without demanding an immediate result. Instead of forcing success, we engage in meaningful work and trust that the results will come. Instead of clinging to relationships, we become people others naturally gravitate toward. Paradoxically, when we no longer need something, it often arrives effortlessly. Being aware of the workings of the backwards law doesn't mean that we should never set goals, never have ambitions, or never pursue change. There's probably an endless amount of reasons why we should make a change and shouldn't accept the status quo. However, the backwards law does teach us not to be fooled by the idea that the pursuit of happiness leads to happiness. Alan Watts once said, "The mystery of life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced." When we shift our mindset from control to acceptance, we tap into a profound sense of peace. We stop measuring our worth by external achievements. We stop seeking validation. We stop believing that happiness exists somewhere in the future, and instead realize that it's always been here, right now. The backwards law doesn't tell us to abandon all effort, it invites us to see effort in a different light. Instead of using willpower to fight against life, we align with it. Instead of desperately seeking fulfillment, we recognize that fulfillment comes from simply being present. What if the very thing you've been searching for has been within you all along? What if the secret to happiness, success, and peace isn't in striving, but in surrendering? The backwards law challenges us to rethink everything we've been taught about effort and achievement. It invites us to stop clinging, stop chasing, and instead trust in the natural flow of life. The less we force happiness, the more we find it. The less we obsess over success, the more success naturally unfolds. The less we try to be something, the more we embody it effortlessly. So, what will you let go of today? What weight will you release? Because in the end, the path to getting what you want might just be to stop trying to get it at all. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What's one thing you've been chasing that you're ready to release? Let's continue this conversation together. Thank you for watching.